Thank you for your patience and hopefully your understanding. I had some dental work done yesterday and I'm still in pain today, and that is very rare. But I'm going to go ahead and try to make this as short as possible for your week 14. I've been a little hesitant to push it out too soon because some of y'all will jump right on it and start looking into all these things that you need to do that are not really related to your direct research. And that's what I want you to be doing right now. I want you to go and get all of your sources, and I would like for you to go ahead and compile all of that on Noodle Tools and go ahead and share with each other. By now, I think that your team leader has put you on the team. Go ahead and share with each other what you have gotten so that you don't duplicate anything, because you should have different sources. Now, let me also tell you again, it's kind of like going down a road and then all of a sudden there's a dead end and a cliff right after that. And there was no warning whatsoever. Well, I'm at least giving you a warning. You are not writing a paper from this, but you could, if I asked you to, you could write a compelling argument for whatever the issue is that you and your team have decided on. So just this is your final product, so that you need to give me as much information as you can so I can determine whether I think it's a compelling enough argument or not. So let's first of all start with your announcements, which y'all are really good about. By Monday, I wanted y'all to get with, well, Hannah, Graham, Ellie, and Esther are the team leaders. So you were supposed to give them your Noodle Tools sign in name. Okay. And then by Tuesday night, which is tonight, I should have your team's topic. Wow, there's a space there. I need to take that out. And some of y'all have two of the teams have already reported. So I need everybody else to let me know what you're doing. Then by Sunday night, this is a big one because on Doodle Tools, I want you each to submit your individual annotated bibliography to my box. And here is my box right here. It's the inbox is a different one from the last one. So submit it there and I will check your work there. That will be worth 50 points. If you don't meet the deadline, you're not getting the 50 points. So you need to have that done. Then on Blackboard, this is where one person from your team gets the annotated bibliography that you've all compiled together and submits one annotated bibliography with all of your annotated sources on it. So I should be seeing 20. If you have 5 people on your team, I'll see 25. Okay, let's move on to week 14. Okay, let's just do this. I made this in big letters and we'll go back over it. This one doesn't look, this one's got your nuts and bolts. It really talks about what you should be doing. This here is the philosophy. It talks about all of the things that we've done this semester have included building upon prior knowledge. So we've scaffolded how to find credible sources, how to cite credible sources in MLA, and all of these things. And they're all building blocks, scaffolds that have led you to this project. Now, this could also be the first project of the semester, but I chose to let it be the last. In the last 6 years, when we've done this, it's the first many students are not really familiar with MLA, and it just is very, very messy. Now that you know how to cite and how to hanging indent and all this, it should not be a problem. Well, let me just say this, now that you know how to use Noodle tools, you shouldn't be having a problem. So I'll get to that later, but this is the philosophy behind the course, behind what you're doing. Right here, it says, for you to remember, it's a team project. I'm so glad. It just seems like y'all really jumped on this and want to really do a good job. And I'm rooting for everybody to get 200 each. That 200 is a team grade. So keep in mind, that means that if Mary submits things and there are errors on it, it's coming off of the team grade, because y'all are supposed to be checking up on each other and y'all are all collaborating together. Excuse me. Okay, so this talks about, remember when you, okay, so y'all did chapter 10, and it talks about how things should be evaluated and how to check things, sources for credibility, reliability, and bias. And then the final finished annotated bibliography should. So before I continue, just make sure your rough draft has all this. Then when I go over your rough draft and give you all a video and all that to go over, you can make it perfect for the final deadline. First, you have to begin with a critical preface. And I know you're going, what is that? Well, good. I'm going to show you right here. It has to begin with a critical preface. It has to include 5 different sources per member. Of the 5 sources, and thank you to all of the people, because I thought I had this listed several places, but I didn't. I think it was in the email that I sent, and my bad. Of your 5 different sources, you need at least 3 from Academic Search Complete. So more than half comes from a journal or periodical. The remaining 2 can come from popular magazines or websites. No National Enquirer, Daily Beast, any of these rags from the UK or from even the United States. Stay away from those. Now, I will say that a lot of people would say the New York Times is liberal. And I wouldn't disagree with that. A lot of them, it just depends. I believe almost all newspapers, even the Dallas Morning News, have bias to some extent. And so some of them may have, if you're judging them on a political scale, some of them may have very left-wing information, and some that are spit out by Fox. And I'm not talking about Fox News like on Channel 4 or whatever the channel is. I'm talking about like Fox with Tucker Carlson and all of those people. Those are very biased. Fox, I think the local Fox stations try to be as unbiased as possible. But anyway, I think you get the gist. Just if you're using somebody biased, I need to know that you know that they are biased, and that's just one view. I mean, you might show a conservative view on the other side, which ironically, I think far right is supposed to be conservative, but it's not even on the, it's not on the spectrum. I don't know what it is. Left wing is what you're very liberal. Let's all do this. Let's let the government take care of us and all of that kind of stuff. The traditional Republican Party believed that in free enterprise, And that's why Trump was so popular, because he wanted to give the control to the big businesses and all that and get the government out. So anyway, just knowing that y'all read about bias and credibility, but just be mindful and always ask me if you don't know, because you don't want to put the Daily Beast on there and I count off for the everybody's paper when you turn in the final, because that is not a good source. And I'm available, so just please email me. You're not bothering me. I love it when you email, and please don't ever apologize for emailing me. And if you email me 5 times in one day, good. It's fine with me. Okay, so then include your annotations. They should be 100 to 200 words each, and that's not including the citation at the top. And then all citations are in MLA format. All right, so what exactly is the critical preface? And you'll see it in the example. The critical preface goes at the top, and it's the first section of your annotated bibliography. It has to include the purpose and significance of this issue. If it's drug abuse is lowering the task, is is impacting the task force or the job market in Dallas, Texas, then that could be the issue. Okay. And why did you choose this topic? Then give me 3 to 4 guiding research questions. Normally we just have one research question at the top, but you could do your how, who, what, when, where, how. You can choose 3 or 4 of those and put that into your critical preface. The different types of sources you chose. Did you, when all total of the 30, I'm sorry, of the 20, 3 times 12 would probably be periodicals or journals, and 8 would be websites. You can't go wrong with .org and some .com. .gov you can't go wrong with. So just give me that information. It could be that you have among, let me go over here. You may have to, you could say of that 8, you could say 4 websites and 4 popular magazines or whatever. And yes, you can get those from Google, but you're going to have to enter in all the data on Noodle Tools. Just if it's a magazine, call it a magazine, and enter all that information so that you can do your citation. Okay, here is a sample copy of what the final one will look like. You put your group name. I know that Wildcats is one of them, so they could just put Wildcats there. Oh goodness, it should be the instructor and then the course. I will change that. And then your date in MLA style. Okay, let's say that yours is obesity. Now, I did make this a little bigger. I think I did it in 14. It's all Times New Roman. Okay, but I did this one in 14 and I bolded it. And then because I'm going to have 2 sections, the critical preface and the annotated bibliography, I kept that at 12 and I bolded that. And this is your preface. So obesity, and by the way, this paper earned a B or better. Obesity is a prevalent problem in the current human world. I wouldn't have put it that way, but that kid did. Several cases of obesity are reported daily, and the main challenge is that these cases are increasing every day. The objective of this annotated bibliography is to find and bring together different sources that have explored the concept of obesity from different perspectives. The key guiding questions for this research included: what is the present status of obesity across the world? What are the contributing factors for the increased cases of obesity? And how can the health benefit model be used in exploring obesity? This bibliography includes 20 sources, out of which 12 are scholarly journal articles and 8 are articles from magazines and organizations. All the sources are current, with the oldest being the year 2017. They have been evaluated and proved to be especially relevant to the research topic. Okay, so now don't come back later and say, well, on that tape, you had this, you know that my name goes here, Professor Holland, and you know that the course goes there with the section number. Okay, and there you go. There is our critical preface. And it makes sense because you're not really going to do a paper from this, but you could. Many professor, well, not many, but some require that you do this before each paper that you, that you turn in. I did not, but I mean, this could actually be made into a powerful paper. Okay, after you finish the preface, notice that I hit enter twice. So I have 4 lines. Okay, here's the first one. And it gives the citation here. Okay. And then this is the annotation. And it should be between 100 and 200 words. I'm trying to highlight all of it. It's not letting me. I didn't put all of this one in, but I did a partial. I stopped it right there. Okay. And remember, these are alphabetized. So that's what it will look like. Only you'll have, instead of 2 sources, you'll have 20 annotated sources. This is how your annotated bibliography will be graded. Notice that there are really just 4 categories: your format, and this is how many points you get; critical preface. Okay, so that critical preface is you want to get the 50 points. You leave it out, 150 is the highest you're going to get. This is the highest grade you can get. Let's say yours is perfect, all hanging indented, all the way that I told you to do it. And your critical preface is bang-a-rang. It's really good. And you have your 20 sources, and they're very good quality. No National Enquirer, no The Star or the Daily Sun. And then your grammar, you get 50 points for. And that's where it's really going to help to have other people read your paragraphs. Please do that, because there are people in your group who are really good at grammar. Some of them are really good at formatting. Some are good at using fewer words to say something. So use all of your strengths, because you've got 4 people who each have their strengths. So please use that. That's how you will be graded. All right. Now let's move on to I'm gonna get out of that one. Okay, so that is the nuts and the bolts. That's the nuts and bolts. I just opened this. Okay, and then this again, I'm telling you that this is not going to be a final paper, but it would if I so desired, I could say, okay, for your final exam, you got 3 hours to write an essay from this, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying it needs to be that good. Okay, and these are the different things that I've kind of already gone over with you in the announcements. Okay, and these are some suggested deadlines until we get to May 1st. That's a hard deadline for your rough draft. And what I don't want to hear is, well, Mary couldn't get all of hers together, so blah blah blah. Mary's going to be severely penalized on that. And if Mary can't hit the rough draft, then maybe Mary's just going to have to do 20 on her own. I need to have that, and that's what you're facing. If you can't be part of a group and just do 5, then you get to do 20 on your own. So it's a win-win situation to have everybody's together and turned in on Sunday by 11:59. And again, that will be turned in by your team leader on a Microsoft Word document. Okay, here is your team collaboration. Now, just started at 1:33, and it explains things. Now, that's the very first part of it, is telling your team leader how to put y'all all on there. And if you want to watch it, that's fine. This is how you will do your annotated bibliography, but I'm putting this down toward the bottom. The very bottom is that research list I sent you, because I don't want you doing this until you have finished your 5 annotated sources. Okay, if you click on this, okay, you should be able to see this. That was, I had downloaded that copy. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Setting up your annotated bibliography. First of all, go to your screen and choose your project. Now, your project may say, Mary drug abuse, whatever. I need to have your name there so I know who it is, and I don't have to look at the class roster to see whose ID number that is. So go to whichever project you probably, this is your second one, so circle the right one. Then go to sources, highlight and copy your summary from your summary and paraphrasing box. Now, I'm going to make that bigger. Because all right, so when you go to your source, this only has 1. But I will have 5 when it's all said and done. So I'm going to pull up this card and I'm going to get this with all 3 of these sections. This one, this one, this one. What I want you to do is type your summary, your 100 to 200 words in there, scrutinize it, read it out loud to yourself, correct it. Then when you're done, again, you need to have this card open. Okay, you're going to copy. All right, then we're going to go, if you scroll down here on this card, well, like way down here, it will say annotations. That's where you're going to paste what you just copied, excuse me, up here. So if you really look closely, you'll see that this is the same thing this is. Now, And you want to do this after you've done all 5, but I only have one source here. So let me show you what it looks like. Then once you have this baby in here, okay, this is what this looks like. You're going to go and click on, go to export print to Word. All right, then you will see this in your Word document and you're going, whoa, that's already set up. Well, not really. You need to do some tweaking on it, but yeah, it did put all of that there for you. But before you save it to your computer, which you should, click before this paragraph. See, like right there, play that. That's my cursor where it says the main point. Then hit backspace once. Then what it's going to do is it's going to take this all the way back over here. Only the first line. Do not do any of the rest of them. It's going to take it back flush with the last name here. And that's what you want it to do. But now you'll hit tab twice. So it's going to be right over here. You're going to hit tab and then you're going to hit tab again. And then notice that this first line is indented. It will be indented and the rest of them won't. The rest of them will fall under this, the be in belief. But the first one won't, because that way it's clearly a paragraph and I can see it. It's really kind of hard if you flush it all under this one, because I don't know where the citation ends. Okay. So now this is what it looks like. Because see, I took this, I hit backspace once, tab twice, and it only tabbed over the first slide. The rest of it is fine. Again, don't compile all of your individual annotated bibliography until you've completed all 5 of your sources, and be sure to save it to your computer. Okay. Now, once you have that, y'all can collaborate however you want to. Y'all are going to have to combine them with 5 from the other 3 team members. So what's beautiful about this is Noodle Tools is alphabetized. So what y'all need to figure out, okay, here's Mary's. She's got a Brown, she's got a Davis, she's got a Macmillan, she's got a Rose, and she's got a Zimbalist. So those are her 5. So what do you have, Johnny? And then Johnny says, so y'all kind of can, in your mind, you know where they need to go. And how y'all do it is completely up to you. If you want to have one person do it and give them a nice gift card to someplace, that's fine. If you want to have 2 people do it, or if all 5 of you, or all 4 of you want to do it, that would be great. Okay, just make sure you save it. Make sure it's Microsoft Word, because this actually converts it for you when you say print it to Word. Okay, and so that's it for what you need to be doing here. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I just want you to be doing very heavy research this week. And you might want to go by some suggested deadlines that I've given in here. You might want to have all of this turned in by Thursday or Friday night, Or if you want to Saturday, that'd give you Saturday and Sunday to put it all together with the critical preface. And that's another thing. I think you should all collaborate on that. One person should not be writing that. So if one of you wants to start it and then collab and share it with the other people, by the way, you can still share your Microsoft Word on Blackboard because I have not disintegrated those groups. You want to email it, whatever, and have everybody add a little bit to it or tweak it some, then that would be great. Have a great week. Unbelievable that next week is your last week, but once you turn in your paper on Tuesday, that's correct, on Tuesday. Well, what is it? Well, we'll talk about that later. Okay. Just get your rough draft in this Sunday. Okay. And then you'll have time to work on it before the final one's done. And hopefully you won't have to do that much work on it. So you can concentrate on all your other subjects. Okay. Anyway, when I go off script, I may be giving you new information. So this takes us up to Sunday night at 11:59. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week. Bye-bye.